County Sheriff's Office says he pulled a gun on a man and his dog at a Publix in Spring Hill. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay at 6. I'm Dave Wagner. Both the dog and the man were shot in the parking lot of the grocery store. 10 Tampa Bay's Chris Rogers is live at the scene there. Chris, police are calling this a wrong place at the wrong time situation.
Well, Dave, that's right. I'm actually standing in the spot that police describe as that wrong place. You mentioned a moment ago the car the man and the dog were shot in has since been taken away, but you can still see there's shattered car window glass on the ground here. Now, the sheriff tells us that this man, the suspect who has now been identified as 51-year-old Randall Lynn Gurney Jr., actually got in two different altercations with two different people in two different counties. But the man and the dog that were shot in this Publix parking lot weren't a part of either of them. Now, Sheriff Al Nunez says this all started in Pasco County, where Gurney Jr. had a gun and an apparent aggravated assault. He then made his way to this Publix in Spring Hill and got into another exchange with a different person, one that he knew, in an aggravated robbery. Now, at this point, no shots had been fired. It was then a short distance across the parking lot. Witnesses say a dog barked in a car. He turned his attention to that dog and the man inside that car.
And the suspect left his original target, went over to the individual in the car that had the dog, and in some order, we're not sure if he shot the dog first or the human first, but the individual in the car was shot more than once, and the dog, our information is the dog was shot more than once.
The sheriff says Gurney Jr. then briefly looked for the man he originally targeted before leaving, but while police were attending to the injured man and dog, he came back, and after a tense exchange in which deputies say they briefly thought he was going to reach for a gun, he was taken into custody. As for the man and the dog, police describe them to be in stable condition tonight. Now, they tell us they're combing through surveillance video from the surrounding businesses to try to determine an exact timeline and why this happened in the first place. Dave?
All right, Chris Rogers in Hernando County tonight. Developing